Hi friends, my name is Aqil Ahmed, and in this particular video tutorial I will show you how to restart SSIS package from the point of failure without using the checkpoints. So I got an email from one of my subscriber, Hi Sky, and he asked like how can we restart the SSIS package if flow 1 fails from the point of failure without using a checkpoints. So let's jump to the demo. I got an SSIS package here which contains 4 flows, flow 1, flow 2, flow 3 and the flow 4. Okay, we have an execute SQL task in each flow and we have a data flow task. So if you see the execute SQL task, so in the execute SQL task we are actually inserting a value into the custom logging SQL server table, and the value is like value from flow 1. So for flow 1 the value will be value from flow 1, for flow 2 the value will be like value from flow 2, and so on. Similarly for flow 3 it will be flow 3 and flow 4. Okay, it is just inserting some records into the SQL server table, and we got a data flow task, and right now the data flow task is empty. Okay, so in real life scenario there can be some code in the data flow task, and you can have tons of more code as well. For example, in the flow 1 you can have maybe 2 tasks or 5 tasks or maybe 10 tasks in each flow, and there can be multiple flows in the SSIS package. So here we won't be using the checkpoints to restart the SSIS package from the point of failure. So what exactly we want is that there are 4 flows in the SSIS package, and we are using a sequence container here actually for the flows, and in the sequence container there are some code. So what we want is that we want to separate the execution of each flow individually in the SSIS package. So what we want is, suppose if the SSIS package fails at the flow number 3, so it means that it has successfully executed the first 2 flows. So now what I want is that if we restart the SSIS package, then it should start from the flow number 3 and it should skip running the code which is already exists in the flow 1 and flow 2. So it will resume from the flow 3 and then it will run the rest of the flows in the SSIS package. So that's what we want to do. So to handle this particular thing, we won't be using the checkpoints and we will be using different method. And even I personally don't use the checkpoints in the SSIS projects to restart the SSIS package from the point of failure. And I personally like this method that I'm going to show you today, that I have implemented it in many SSIS packages, that if I want to restart the SSIS package from the point of failure, then I use this method. So how we can do this particular thing? So what we can do, we can divide the whole SSIS package in a different flow. So right now we have already done this particular thing, that in the SSIS package I already created just some 4 flows. So now what we can do, let me open the SQL Server Management Studio. So this is the SQL Server table, custom logging. So when the SSIS package will run, it will insert the data into this particular table. So one record will be inserted from each flow into the SQL Server table. So if you see right now the SSIS package ran fine. It starts from flow 1, flow 2, flow 3 and flow 4, and each flow has inserted one record into the SQL Server table. So if you run the select query now, so there will be 4 records here, like value from flow 1, value from flow 2, okay, something like this. So let me truncate this particular table for now, and let me open the another session here. So what we will do, we will create a SQL Server table config_flow, and then ID will be identity column here, and then we will create a column as flow name, and there will be an active column as well of type bit. Okay, so what we will do, that we will insert a record for each flow into the config_flow table. So we will insert actually 4 records, like 1 record for flow 1, 1 record for flow 2 and so on. So initially the active flag for each flow will be set to 1. Okay, so if you select this particular query, so there are just 4 records here and the active flag is 1 for all the records. Now what we will do is, when the SSIS package will run, so before running the actual code in this particular flow, we will select the data from the SQL Server table and we will check if the value of the active flag is 1 for the flow 1, then we will execute the code which is situated inside the flow 1, otherwise we will skip the code. Similarly for flow 2, we will check that if the value of the active flag is 1, then we will execute the code inside the flow 2, otherwise we will skip the code, and so on. Now there is one more important thing, that as soon as we execute the code inside a particular flow, then we will set the active flag to 0. Okay, so that if the same package is run again, so the same flow should not be executed again. Okay, so that's what we will do. So now let me do one thing and write a select query here, select active from config flow, where flow name equal to and I can copy and paste this value flow1. Okay, now if I execute this particular query, then this will return the value as 1. Okay, now we will check in the SSIS package that the value should be 1 to execute the flow. Okay, so now what I can do, I can just copy this particular query from here, copy this one, go to the SSIS package, and now let me open the variables window from here, and let me create an active flag here, active. Okay, because the value that will be returned from this particular query will be the active value, and the active value is type of bit, so we will be using a boolean type here. So the data type will be boolean. Okay, and I can close this one. Now what we need to do is that the first task in each flow will be an execute SQL task, which will actually return the value from the SQL query for a particular flow, like whether the active flag is 0 or 1. Okay, so what I can do, I can just call it as get the active flag. Okay, and I can configure this particular task. Under connection, I can select this connection, and under SQL statement I can paste the query like select active from config flow where flow name equal to flow1. Okay, and now under result set I will change it to single row, and then under result set I will click on add, and I can change the result name to 0, and the variable name will be the active variable. I can click on OK. Now I can connect the get the active flag to the do some work. So the first task will be this one, get the active work, and the second one will be this one. Now before executing the actual code, we will right click on the precedence constraint and click on edit, and here under evaluation operation we will select expression and constraint, and then under expression we can click on these 3 dots, and now we can just drag and drop the active flag into the expression, and we can write double equal to true. So if the value of the active flag will be 1, then the next code will be executed, otherwise it will be skipped. So I can click on OK. So this is done. So as soon as we are done running the code in a particular flow, then the last task should be an execute SQL task where we will set the active value to the 0 for each flow. Okay, so I can just drag and drop another code here, and I can call it like disable flow. Okay, and then I can just drag and drop the execute SQL task into the flow 1, and I can connect the load data with the disable flow. Now let me just double click on the disable flow, and under connection I can select the connection to the work database, and under SQL statement we need to write a query here, update config flow set active equal to 0 where flow name equal to this one, flow 1. Okay, so I can copy this query and I can paste the query here, click OK. Okay, so we have just completed the code for the flow 1, that we before running the actual code in the flow 1 we will check if the active flag is 1, then we will execute the code, otherwise we won't execute the code, and as soon as the code will be executed we will disable the active flag to 0. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing for all the remaining flows as well, that I can copy the code from here, and then I can just paste the code inside flow 2, and I can connect the get the active flag with the do some work, and I can actually copy this particular query from here, and maybe I can paste it inside the notepad, and then let me just double click on this particular precedence constraint, change the constant type to expression and constraint, paste the value here, click OK. And yeah, there is one important thing, that if you double click the get the active flag, so we need to change the flow name to the flow 2 here. Okay, because the earlier code was for flow 1 and this is for flow 2, and now we need to copy the disable code from here and paste the code inside the flow 2. Okay, and then we again need to change the flow name to flow 2 here. Okay, click OK. Okay, now do the same thing for the flow 3 as well. So our SSIS package is ready to be run. It has configured successfully, that now first flow 1 will run, then flow 2 will run, then flow 3 will run, and then flow 4 will run. And before running the actual code in each flow, we will check that if the flow is active or not. So if it is active, then it will run, and if it is not active, then it won't run. Okay, and if you will restart it from the point of failure, then it will run from the same point where it got failed. Okay, of course it will check if the active flag is 1, but it won't execute the actual code inside each flow. Okay, so there is one important thing, that after the completion of the last flow, we need to just drag and drop and execute SQL task, and then we should enable all the flows back, because if you won't enable it, then next time it won't run any flow. So the last task should be the enable all flows. As soon as the package will run successfully, then it will enable all the flows. So I can just copy the code from here and paste it here, update config flow set active is equal to 1. click OK. So our SSIS package is ready to be run, and if I go back to the SSMS and if I check the value for the config flow, so the active flag is 1 for all the 4 flows, and if I go back to the custom logging, so this table is empty. So now let me execute the SSIS package, and it should insert one record from each flow to the SQL Server table. So let me go back to the SSMS, and yeah, you can see that it has inserted one record from the each flow. So let me truncate this table for now, and now let's test it if the package will run from the point of failure or not. What I can do is I can, for example, try to fail it at the flow number 3. So what I can do, insert into logging, maybe I can write something like 00. So now this will become an invalid query here. So the SSIS package will fail on this particular execute SQL task. So let me execute the SSIS package. So now this should run successfully for the first 2 flow and got failed at the 3rd flow. So if I go back to the SSMS, so if you check the custom logging, so you will see 2 entries here, value from flow 1 and value from flow 2. And if you check the config flow, then the first 2 flows got disabled here, because the 3rd one got failed, it did not get completed successfully, so that's why it is 1. So now what will happen, if I will restart the SSIS package, then it should run from the flow number 3 and it should skip the actual code for the flow 1 and flow 2. Okay, so let me stop the execution of the SSIS package, and let me just remove this particular code from here, the 00 value, so that it can run the code successfully. Click OK. OK. And now if I will rerun the SSIS package, then it will run from the flow number 3, the actual code from the flow number 3. It checked the active flag for the flow 2, and because the active flag is 0, so that's why it did not executed the rest of the code in the flow 2. And then it has successfully executed all the code from the flow 3 and then executed all code from the flow 4. And then it has enabled all the flows again, so that if you will rerun the SSIS package, then all flows will work. So let me go back to the SSMS. Now if you will check the config flow again, so the all flows active flag will be 1. And if you check the custom logging, so there should be 2 more records in the custom logging, flow 3 and flow 4. Okay, so this is working fine. And now suppose let me rerun the SSIS package, then the whole SSIS package will run again. Okay, so I think this is how you can just enable your SSIS package to rerun from the point of failure where it got failed and we are not using the checkpoints in the SSIS package. So let me go back to the SSMS, and there should be 4 more entries here, and the config flow should have the active flag for all the records. So I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you like the video, then please click the like button. Do subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and click on all, so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much.